Hello, everybody, and welcome back to F1 22. I know it has been a while. Um, Actually, this episode was recorded quite a while ago, as we do the speed zone and disqualify on our first attempt. Um, this episode, and actually for the next few, were recorded on the launch version of the game. I had time to record these episodes, but I haven't had time to get around to editing these. So, while these are new episodes, they are recorded on an older version of the game. In fact, I believe only one episode was recorded on 1.5 before the newest version of the game is here. So, apologies for the long hiatus. You know how it is. Life gets in the way. And again, so this is the launch version of the game, the launch patches, all that good stuff. So then, we get the silver on our average speed. Could have been a lot worse, but we're now going to head off to the Australian Grand Prix. You can see our heave damper upgrade did go through, so that's good. Also, our turbo improved materials, so our durability department's going to go up as well. And at this point, we're just going to look to see if anything could be done before the Italian Grand Prix, aside from the upgrades we already did in the last episode that will go on after. Unfortunately, it's not looking like anything will. However, we are going to go with this structure because that is a huge upgrade. You saw just how much that was going to improve our car. And then we also decided to go with the wheel rim upgrades just to knock that out of the way, and since that should be easy enough to get on the car. But with that, we're going to head to the track now, and we're in Q1 here. And the reason we're in Q1 is because, unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the road for us already here in Australia. As we make our way through the chicane here, you can see we one ride here over the rumble strips. Now, I didn't get an indication of anything wrong while I was on this lap. However, when I got back to the pits, there was repair time for the car, so unfortunately, this would be the last lap of our qualifying session. And we only got 2 laps in, and there was still 12 minutes to go when I crossed the line here. So, unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of work to do come race day. As you see, we come across the line here, not a spectacular lap by any means. In fact, as you can see, we do get knocked out. Nico Hulkenberg, though, will move on, which is good. And actually, we weren't too far off. 2/10 off with that isn't horrible. However, it does mean we start P18, and getting points for the Australian Grand Prix is going to be a huge ask.
Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne for what no doubt will be an intense day of racing. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Sainz, George Russell and Hamilton, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Stroll, the Grim Reaper and Daniel Ricciardo, Joe, Latifi, Albon and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So then here come the lights. A lot to do for us, as well as McLaren, who start at the back with us. It's 5 lights, and away we go. And as always, a ton of wheel spin off the grid. Daniel Ricciardo going to get past us. We're going to go ahead, block off Latifi as we head into turn 1. Get that position back, but we do have to get off into the grass because Stroll turned in on us. He gets back ahead of us just for a moment, which gives us back that position. No illegal overtake there. Up into P16 here as we head down to the right-hander. Get a couple of positions there. We get Schumacher, Vettel, who's still alongside us. We should be able to muss our way through here. Maybe no. Vettel actually going to get the better of us here and hold on to P14. So up to P15 on the start, not a bad start at all. And Nico, who started 9th, had an abysmal start because he is now outside of the points in P11 already. So not the start that he needed. A good start for us, which again, up to 15th. And luckily, we all are on the medium tires except for Vettel and Stroll. So it looks like the Aston Martins are on the soft. So if we can get past Vettel here quickly, we should be able to hold him off because of the soft fall off. In fact, we're going to dive it down to the inside there into that reprofiled right-hander there towards in Sector 3. Get that position, and we are now up into P14. Vettel is going to be behind us in 15th, and it is just a huge train of cars here. No spread at all here at the end of the first lap as Verstappen crosses the line. You can see on the mini-map already there seems to be a bit of a gap between the Red Bull of Verstappen and the rest of the pack. It looks like that's one of the Mercedes cars there. So who knows, maybe an issue on the Mercedes car, and that's what's causing this huge train of cars as it looks like a McLaren goes into the pits already on lap 1. So it's going to be a long day for McLaren and McLaren fans, as it looks like they're going to be at the back for most of the day as they have not made any strides forward after one lap. But as you can see, we are still in this huge train. There doesn't seem to be any separation of the cars, so it definitely seems like someone has an issue or something, because just everyone seems to be at the same pace. Hopefully when DRS comes in on the next lap, we can start making some moves here. But right now, it looks like we may be stuck in a train. However, I think we're going to be able to use our overtake button to get past Magnussen here. We're going to go to the left-hand side on the straightaway. He squeezes us towards the wall. Pirelli gets real close. And bit of contact there between Magnussen and Gasly. That's going to allow us to get alongside Magnussen a little bit better. We head through the right-hand section of the course, and we do get that position. So now up to P13 with Pierre Gasly and then Nico Hulkenberg ahead of us. So a great start for us. As I said, we are now up to 13th after just 2 laps and starting P17. So, and with DRS now being enabled, hopefully we don't get caught up in a train like the AI do. But just a lap later, lap 4, you can see this train is still going on, as it looks like a Ferrari has gotten past a Mercedes. So I'm thinking something might be wrong. Maybe it's one of the Mercedes. However, they're starting to pull away now too, so someone is definitely holding up this entire pack, because again, there's just little to no separation with the cars here. We're going to go ahead, get on the button, and see if we can get past Gasly here down the straightaway. We're going to go to the left-hand side, squeezes us towards that inside wall, but we should be able to easily clear him as we have the inside here for the chicane. And we do. We go ahead and get Pierre Gasly, and we are now up into 12th behind our teammate Nico Hulkenberg. And now it's a time where we got to play things smart. We don't want to hurt Nico's race at all. We also need to continue to help ours as we continue to push on early here. So what we got to do is maybe just bide our time behind Nico, wait until there's a good spot to overtake. I don't want to get into a battle with Nico right now. I just want to make sure that we can get past him cleanly and without sacrificing his race and without sacrificing any of our own time. Because we've been pushing so hard at the start of this race and making these passes, I have a feeling our medium compound tires are going to fall off sooner than Nico's, sooner than Yuki Tsunoda in front of us, and sooner than the Alpines in front of us. So again, on the straightaway here, get on the button just like the last lap. Going to go to the left-hand side of Nico. Nico squeezes us just a little, not making it easy on us here. But we do have the pace to get past him easily. He was not on the button. And we do move up into P11 for now. Get a little wide there. at the exit of the chicane. Stay on the button just a little to make sure Nico doesn't try to get past us, because again, we do not want to battle right now with him. So why we did it the way we did there is now it looks like side-by-side battle in front for just a brief moment with Yuki and one of the Alpines, as that looks like Sergio Perez up ahead. So maybe he was the one slowing down the field, because he is awfully far down the order and really far back for the Red Bull, as you saw just how far ahead Max is. And Perez still not breaking away here as we get to lap 6, so I think he might have been the issue. Don't know if they fixed what's on that car or not, but there's a little more separation now between the cars, but we are still on a DRS train, but we're going to get on the button along with our DRS to go to the inside of Yuki. Tried to hold the middle line, but we go ahead to that far inside anyway, make a dive down the right-hand side, and get that position from Yuki. So just like that, on lap 6, we are already up to P10. We are now in the points. However, we're going to start noticing a big fall off here with the tires. The tires are already starting to fall because of how hard we pushed in those first couple laps. So hopefully I don't fall too far behind these Alpine cars. However, I'm not too sure. Simply because, again, the tire fall off is real. And in fact, just a couple of laps later on lap 10, you can see just how bad our fall off is. We've been able to hold off Tsunoda and Hulkenberg, which is great for us. However, the Alpines 4 and 3 seconds away, as they have not fought at all. They've just been towing the line, using the DRS of the cars in front of them to get away from us. So it's going to take maybe an early pit stop, maybe an undercut or something for us to try to gain some ground on those Alpines, but our tires, oh man, they're starting to not look so great. They're starting to not feel great after just 10 laps in this race because of how much we abused them. So it might take a miracle for us to get caught back up, and I'll tell you what, a miracle in fact we did get. Just one lap later on lap 11, you ride on board with George Russell. That is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari ahead. And you can see here the yellow flags are out. Carlos Sainz loses his engine and George Russell runs right into the back of him. A stupid, stupid move from George Russell. Even, the engine was blowing in front of him, and instead of even trying to go around, he just ran right into the back of him. As it looks like Carlos Sainz, he crossed the track here, which is strange. You see on the replay here, Hamilton nearly runs into him as well, because for some reason, Carlos Sainz decided to pull back across the track, even though he was retiring anyway. So strange move there from Carlos Sainz, as 2 cars now retire from the Grand Prix. And because of this, everyone, as we are on the edge of the pit window, everyone and their mother is coming down the pit lane here. We're going to go ahead, come down, get our hard compound tires to the end of the race. And checking behind, and yes, Nico does come in as well. So we're going to double stack the cars here. A lot of double stacking. You can see how bad that's going to affect the Alpines. One of them's going to get out ahead of us, go onto the hard compound tire. And then you can see Nico come into the slot as well. And we actually gained quite a few spots there. We get past Ocon. So we're up to P7 as we get ready for the restart on lap 13. Coming to lap 14. Bottas is in front of us. We know we have way more pace than the Alfa Romeo, so we're going to, as we have 100% battery thanks to the safety car, we're going to go ahead, get on the button now, see if we can get past him here on the straightaway. Bottas did not get away very well. Jukes to the right-hand side. We're going to go around the outside of him into turn 1, get that position. And we're up into P6 now with Fernando Alonso. Now has no help from his teammate ahead. Therefore, we can go after him ourselves. So a good run for us on the restart. Once again, we got lucky with the safety car and the timing of it. That seems to be the tale of the tape here. Just a couple episodes in here. Is luck seems to be on our side, and we are just having a grand old time with it. Thanks to the timing of these safety cars. Because we are constantly, it seems like, able to get into a good position where we're able to overtake and get past a lot of our competition with a free pit stop. As Fernando Alonso blocking insanely as we go to the left-hand side. It was the inside, switches back to the outside. all over Fernando. We're going to go to the left-hand side here, down the straightaway, on the button. But Fernando Alonso going to brake really late into there. We make actually slight contact with Fernando. No report of wing damage, however. So luckily we got away with that there. But now we're going to have to regroup, charge up the battery for maybe a lap or so, and try to get Fernando Alonso again, because he is blocking like crazy. Unfortunately, though, the wing damage did happen to our teammate. You're going to ride on board with Nico here. One lap later on lap 15, looking to make a move on Alex Albon. Albon leaves in the space, but then runs over the sausage curb and into the side of Nico. And even though it was a slight contact, it is enough that Nico does come into the pits to change his front wing. So, unfortunately, a chance at double points seems to be over here in the Australian Grand Prix. But now, a lap later, like I said, regrouping. We really used up the battery into the single digits here. We do have DRS now, though. And Fernando Alonso is not going to let us, not going to hold us back this time as we do the move he did on us. Hold that inside line, get down to the inside, and we take the position from him. And now as I enter P5, we're on lap 16 of 29. Now, this isn't Saudi Arabia where we had miraculous pace because of it mostly being straights. This is a very different track. P5 is really all that's obtainable for us. Now, we could push really, really hard and hope we can make up a 3.5 second gap to Sergio Perez in front of us. However, I don't think that's really plausible for us. Like I said, we don't have the car to catch up with those top contenders. So I think what we're going to do is, honestly, we're just going to go for a really boring 10, 12 final laps here. Just hold the car, focus on the tires, and just kind of hold position. There's nothing we can do about Nico, unfortunately. He's way back there, as you see. But I think we're just going to have to go the boring route here and hope for a boring race. And let me tell you, boring those last little laps were as we jump all the way to the finish now. Max Verstappen takes the victory for Red Bull. Charles Leclerc, P2 in the Ferrari, so 1-2 for them, the championship rivals. And you can see here, towards the end of the race, we backed our car up a lot here just to make sure we stayed on the road, didn't get any off-track warnings, anything like that. And P5 looks to be on the dock for us today. Fernando Alonso does get a bit close here towards the end, but we do have about 17-18% of our battery, so we're just going to go ahead, get on the battery here out of the final turn, and then we don't have to worry about Fernando Alonso. But across the line, 17th to 5th. How about that performance for us? We pushed really hard on the start, gained a ton of spots. The safety car worked out in our favor. We get P5 and driver of the day at the Australian Grand Prix.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So, being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls, gentle on the tyres, that's where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
So then, as I said, a 1-2 for our championship rivals. Max Verstappen will extend his lead, but only a little. He does take fastest lap as well. Only car in the 121s, actually. So Sergio Perez completes the podium, a double points result for our foes at Alpine, as well as AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo just short of a double points day, and the McLarens, unfortunately, also score 0 points on the day, along with Aston Martin Williams, Carlos Sainz, and George Russell DNF out of the race, and our boy Nico Hulkenberg had 4 pit stops in this race, so his day was just downright awful after such a great starting position for him of P9. Look at the driver's standing, some big changes as Leclerc jumps up to P2, now 18 points behind Max Verstappen. We stay P6. The 2 Mercedes boys swap positions, and we're now in a Mercedes sandwich again. And Nico drops down to 10th with only 12 points on the season. As you can see there, a whole heap of cars yet to score points, starting with Guan Yu Zhou. No changes in terms of position in the Constructors' Championship, but definitely changes in points. Red Bull scooches away from Ferrari and Mercedes, and the gap between us and Alpine is dwindling. Only a couple points between us, but we hold on to P4 for now, and that is our goal for the end of the season, so we need to get Nico on a similar level with us. Of course, a big part of the thing today for Nico is just some really rotten luck. But before Imola, we do have our activities timeline to fill out, doing some aero, focusing on some stuff for Nico, including some PR filming. We're going to upgrade the chassis equipment, and that'll fill up our time before Imola. We're also going to advance time here, so we got all of our stuff here. Our running costs cost us some money, and oh, fuck.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Well, son of a bitch, our rear wing flap failed us. We are going to have to restart that part. It won't be on the car in time for this weekend, but it will be back on the car, hopefully. Well, 0% chance though, so it will be on the car before Miami at least. We do get the engine cover at least, so there is that. But a lot of work to still do on the car, and I'm glad to be back and hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more F1 action, and I'll see you in the next episode of F1 22 My Team. Bye!